is HTML templates. So the concept of templating is not new at all in the web. We have seen this in server-side languages for a while. We have seen this many times before. We have templating libraries like Mustache, which is available in tons of languages. We have Jinja for Python. We have Velocity for Java. We have Liquid for Ruby. We have Handlebars for JavaScript, Node.js. So we have all those libraries, and they all try to solve this problem, templating, which is reusing blocks of code in your application. So one thing is creating elements. Another thing is reusing a bunch of code and duplicating markup. Those are different problems that you need to solve. So, like 2 years ago, something like that, there was just an explosion of MVC frameworks in JavaScript. You have Backbone, Ember, you have all those things. And they all comes with different opinions about what templating should do and things like that. But now, we don't need to not care about it, but now we have something that is standardized. We have a new tag called template. And this is the tag that we are going to play with. So I'm just going to open a new file, maybe this one. And let me delete this line. So open the first index.html from the HTML templates folder. Go ahead, do that. Got it? So what happens, I want to reuse this block of code. So what happens if I just load this on the web? I'll get this image right here. But I don't want this to show to the user. I want to reuse this at some other time. I don't want to reuse this right now. So one thing that I could do is like make it invisible, right? I can make it invisible. Now it's not being, like the user is not seeing it, so that's fine. But if you go to network, you can still see this request being done. What we want to accomplish is having this block of code, I'm not using right now, but I want to reuse multiple times. But I don't want requests to be done. I don't want all these things happening. I just want to reuse that and load it once I really need this and not just randomly. So we can just drop this piece of code on a template tag. And once you do that, this tag is not going to be available in the browser. You can just take a look, like you will see this tag on your here, but there's no styling at all. If you go to network, the request is not being done at all. Just by dropping that with the template tag. Okay? And I guess that you have seen this already last week. But let's like duplicate this line of code and put it on your application.
Are we just losing a screen? Is that what's happening? Cycle? Yeah, we have the IDGA still. We
Yep.
have your screen. It's just that screen.
Cool. So we can just create a script tag. if we console.log this, we can see that we have this HTML with a document fragment.
Can you go back to the network tab? Where were you pointing at? Oh, down there.
So I'm working on the HTML templates index.html. This is the file that I'm making. You guys have the same content as I do over here. 2 image types like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way we access the content of this template, instead of having this document fragment that I can't interact with, is accessing this .content object. And now I have some object that I can play with. We're gonna see this in a minute. So I have this content, I want to duplicate this. But first, what I'm gonna do is like change the source, just template per selector, image, src. I'll change this to 1 Fresno thing. JPEG. We'll use it all the time.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe it's just that moving it.
See this one.
Luckily, we're not moving it, but yeah.
So if we take a look into this in the browser, nothing's happening. But if we clone this and reuse it, then we can see something. So we can just go ahead and call this clone node function, and we can take a look at what are the properties that we have on this. Oops, clone node. So this function returns a duplicate of the node on which this method was called. And we have this deep optional attribute. True if the children of the node should also be cloned, false to clone only the specified node. So I want the children to be cloned as well. So I'll just set true. Awesome. Now I have this. I'll just take a look into the console. What the heck is this? What's going on? I have this document fragment, which still has, which changed the value of this original one and clone it. But still nothing's happening on my page. So finally, I can just clone this. Oops, and child. So here's what we did. We had a template. We got the content of this template. We're changing and modifying it and mutating the content of this template. We're cloning it, and then we're reusing our page. So this is just a simple example. Like, it's a little bit hard to see the value of template if we just see this, because it's like, okay, he's duplicating and putting some stuff over there, what's the point? But imagine you have a massive amount of content over here. and I don't want to duplicate all this and have lots of tags with lots of values and all of stuff. And I want to clone that multiple times. I'm creating a list of items. So imagine I have this component over here. Every single list item is different. I have the file size information, I have this, I have the data, the last modified date, I have the owner, and I have this, the name and some icon. So I need to duplicate this tons of times and keep going, multiplying this multiple times. So I don't want to do this and do this with JavaScript because I had to like copy and paste all the time. And this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to propose a different, so this is the exercise that I wanted to propose, which is create the FCC logo that displays the Fresno City College logo with a link to the site. And you need to use custom elements and HTML templates to accomplish that. So the idea behind this exercise was, if you search for Fresno City College, you have lots of different logos. I don't know which is the standardized one. I don't know which is the right one.
The way to know is just to find the one which you think is ugliest, and that's the one you're probably.
So you could just, and I'm the webmaster of the website, and I want the other people that are using this website to point to the right link and use the right logo. So this is what I want to do. I want to standardize the way we use logos on the website. I don't want people to keep using logos differently. So let's try to do this one. And once you finish it, just raise your hand. So you need to use custom elements, and you need to use HTML templates. Okay?
You put up the template code you had just a moment ago?
Yeah.
Yep.